Hello, everybody, and welcome in. This is Aaron St. Denis at FFMadScientist, joined today by Jeremy Shulman at FF_Rebel and Jesse Moeller at JMoeller05. We are the Fantasy Football Universe. All right, let's get back into it. We have another 2024 rookie sneak peek on tap for today. And today's player is Florida State running back Trey Benson. He kind of finds himself in that, I don't know, I guess it's one big tier at the start, 5-6 running backs, and he is firmly cemented in it. So let's get right into it. Running back out of Florida State. He's from Greensville, Mississippi, was a 3-star recruit out of Greensville High School. His collegiate career got off to a rocky start and almost ended before it began. 2020, as a member of Oregon, he tore his ACL, MCL, and LCL and missed the entire season. Excuse me. His 2021 season as a freshman saw him appear in 10 games for the Ducks, recording 22 yards and 1 touchdown on limited carries. Obviously, he was working his way back from the injury. His lack of opportunities led him to transfer to Florida State for 2022. In 22, as a sophomore, he played in 13 games for Florida State, rushed for 990 yards and 9 touchdowns, where he chipped in 227 receiving yards and 1 receiving touchdown in his true breakout season, and his first as a full-time player. Final collegiate season saw him as a junior in 2023 for Florida State again, where he appeared in 13 games, racked up 906 rushing yards and 14 touchdowns. He also added in 371 receiving yards and 1 touchdown through the air and declared for the 2024 NFL Draft. This was an interesting one. Obviously, his best numbers were at the end of his career, which I normally dock someone for. I hate the late breakouts. I hate the guys who are in college for, more than 3 years. This one's a little tougher because obviously there's nothing in 2020 because of the injury. As you've seen from the ACL, MCL, LCL injuries, the first year back is completely useless in most cases, unless you're Adrian Peterson. So the 2021 lack of production was no surprise. 2022 was a great bounce back, so that is great. So I'm almost willing to completely write off these first 2 years and just completely forget them. It does, however, worry me. I always hate a guy who comes in and already has had the ACL, MCL, LCL issue, because it seems like they're just a time bomb waiting to turn into the next J.K. Dobbins. What do you guys think? What is more important to you, the 2 years of great production or the worry about his knee?
And I personally don't view running backs long-term anyways. So if I'm getting a guy who's going to be productive from the jump, like that's more what I'm focused on. So if he gives you 3 to 4 years of production, like you take that immediately, because how many running backs are going to be good going past that first contract, right? Like it's tough for them to get a second contract and get paid as it is. So running backs I view in the short term, even with the rookies, it's basically a 4-year window with rookies. So that's personally how I treat it. So I'm not too worried about it. It's just more how NFL teams view that injury.
But
it's red flag for them.
That goes to even more why this running back class people are so low on. That's what at least 2 of the top 5 who've had a torn ACL or MCL, because Jonathan Brooks had the same, right?
Yeah, his wasn't as bad. Yeah, Benson's was really bad. His is more just a clean ACL, but yeah, this injury was
still, 2 of the top 5 in this class have already had the ACL injury. It's not great, not great. What did you notice here, Jeremy?
Well, he's big and fast, right? The explosion, the long speed is still there, right? Or has returned, right? So it's not a huge concern, right? And you
437 estimated. Sorry to interrupt. 437 is what his estimation is.
You just hope that everything has fused correctly and there's no problems down the line. But so far, so good.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt you there.
No, you're good.
Measurables, 6'1", 223 pounds. So he is a big dude. And if he does indeed run even a slow 4.37, the low end of the 4.3s. I mean, that's pretty damn fast. A 4.37 for a 6'1", 223 pounder. Still only 21 years old. He's a junior. Got out of school relatively fast for a guy who, missed a year and a half essentially. Like, it's going to say he's a junior. It says he played 4 years, but he didn't really. It's essentially 2 years here, and then he moved on. So I think he's slowly moving up the board for me. We'll get into scouting report. Possesses his strengths, possesses incredible long speed, instant home run threat every time he touches the ball. I wrote this one up. If you want to see the full breakdown, head over to fantasyfootballuniverse.com. He also has an excellent burst and acceleration, as well as good downhill physicality. Great strength and contact balance, and runs angry. Is a natural pass catcher with soft and reliable hands. That was the one that stood out most for me. Out of these top 5 running backs, we've got a few that are small bowling ball types, a few that have past injury histories. This one was one of the, I think there was only 2, and I can't remember who the other one was, who I found to be an actual good pass catcher. The others, like Blake Corum, not a great pass catcher. No. So I think
Bucky Irving's the other one.
Yeah, him. Well, I have Irving and Brooks. Brooks was the other one where I thought they were the best of the pass catchers. So that I think gave him the most upside of the group of 5 or 6 here. 6 if you're going to include Irving. What did you guys think stood out as a strength?
He's the ideal build of a running back. Like, you kind of do a creative running back on Madden. This is the guy you're going to create. He's big, he's fast, he has acceleration. Like, he offers all of that physicality that he brings to the table, which few running backs in this class offer. Like, he's that mold where you're like, if we get this guy to hit, he's going to hit big because of how much of a physical freak he is. So overall, he brings that more than anything else. That's the stuff that jumps out at you.
It seems like Benson is kind of the guy that we wanted Zach Charbonnet to be or become last year. We were searching for that RB3 after Bijan and Gibbs, and we were like, oh, he's big, and he can catch the ball kind of, but he was a bit more lumbering. Benson is just a speedster as well. He's got everything that you want, the size, the speed, and the vision. Looks pretty good. He'll run through you. He'll run around you. I mean, he's a great all-around prospect, I think.
As far as the weaknesses go, I have him as stiff movements with limited agility. He's kind of awkward, especially in the tighter spaces. That's largely attributed to him being so big. Plays to contact, which will increase his risk of injury, which is already high. Will need to refine his pass pro skills. He's not a total liability. He just kind of looks lost at times. Massive injury red flag, as like we said earlier, ACL, MCL, LCL tear as a freshman. So with his size, play style, and durability issues, it's a concern. What did you guys think was a big weakness here for you?
It's the more processing part of the game that he struggles with, because if you have the talent he has and the athleticism, you shouldn't be such an inconsistent runner. And this is the thing that he goes through. Like, he goes in waves of the game. Sometimes he runs really high, he makes the right read. Sometimes he doesn't make the right read. He sets himself up for failure, or he's more indecisive and doesn't know which the read's going to be. So you see it kind of vary, where he has really good games, and some games he's really up and down. You're like, man, that should have been a 10-yard run. He got 2 yards on it. Like, so there's issues in his game from the processing point of view, which could hamper him at the next level. But if he's ever able to get that vision to come along, similar to what Jonathan Taylor did after like the game 10 of his rookie year, where he figured it out, if he could figure out the vision part and the processing, like, he could be a very good NFL running back.
Jeremy, anything else you noticed?
For me, he's more of a straight line guy than a shifty guy, right? And so that's great. But if you have to, it's a lot harder in the NFL to get around the edge is in college. And if he's relying on that, he's going to be disappointed. He needs to develop some sort of, even if just a one cut to when he runs outside or gets in space. And I didn't see much of that in his game. He is good in between the tackles.
I have him firmly planted in day 2, late round 2, early round 3. I think only one of the 5 or 6 gets round 2 capital. I think he's probably going to be, I don't know. I guess he's right on the borderline. He could go, but I don't think he's definitely, they have him at 7.5% for day 1 or for round 1. I don't have that. I have his best landing spot as Cincy. I also think Cleveland, somewhere in Ohio, would be good for him. I'm not convinced Nick Chubb will ever be anything again. I don't think Jerome Ford is anything more than just a guy. Joe Mixon's got to be gone from Cincy, I imagine. I don't mind Chase Brown. I just don't think Brown profiles as – I think Brown is good at the things that Benson's bad at. So I think they would be a nice compliment. But I also think, like I said, Cleveland's a good spot. What do you guys think?
You know, I don't know all of the similarities between Clint Kubiak and his father, but going over to New Orleans, that's kind of an interesting fit for me. You know, with Kamara aging, you know, we don't know exactly what they have in whose name is escaping me, their rookie from last year. I can't think of it. In New Orleans, back.
Oh, Kendrick Miller.
Yeah, Miller. So, you know, he had limited run last season. So I think that would be interesting. You know, if they're running more stretch schemes, I wouldn't mind seeing him in New Orleans.
Yeah, I like any fit like that. It's just the whole Kamara issue. Like, Kamara is still a talented running back and can get plenty of volume. So if he goes to a place like you're talking about with Cincinnati or Cleveland and the issues in those running back fields, like if his competition is Chase Brown, he's beating out Chase Brown. He's just a better overall back. So like that's the type of situation you want to land into. And especially if he's going to get day 2 capital, like early day 2 capital, like he's going to get every opportunity on top of that too. So if he gets the draft capital, I'm just going to be in because the talent's there plus the draft capital. That's like the ideal word for a running back. So I'm not too worried about honestly where he lands. It's just more basically the talent and the draft capital.
I think if he gets one of those spots and day 2 draft capital, I think he may be the running back that creeps into the end of the first round of Superflex rookie drafts. I know there isn't one right now, or it's Blake Corum, but in that scenario, I think Trey Benson gets himself up into the 110 to 112 range because I think I'd be in at that cost myself.
Yeah, if it's like that, I'm with you. I'm fine with that.
And our guy SC mentioned that this is his RB1 in the class, so you know it's. We'll see. Not for me, but he's up there. He's like you said, he's one of that top tier of running back, which at the moment is going in the mid-second in rookie draft.
I think he's my 2, but he's good.
The traits are there. I can see why SC has him as the RB1. Like the talent profile, it's really hard to top his set of skills from an athletic standpoint. Like he's a freak and he shows up. So from that point, like I 100% get it.
All right, that concludes the. Yep. Yes, he is. That concludes the 2024 rookie sneak peek of Florida State running back Trey Benson. For the full write-up of him and any other prospect in the top 120 or so, head over to fantasyfootballuniverse.com or check back tomorrow on our channel here for the next player in the video series. For Aaron, Jeremy, and Jesse, thank you all for watching the Fantasy Football Universe. We will catch you again tomorrow. Take care.